Hi, I'm Ashleigh C reporting for Kids First, and today I have the delight to speak with the CEO of Fathom Events, Mr. Ray Nutt. Mr. Nutt is a leader of one of the largest distributors of diverse content for movie theaters in North America. Last summer, during the height of quarantine, our Kids First film critics interviewed Mr. Nutt about the closing of movie theaters and what to expect. Today, what we are going to talk about is a follow-up with news to share about the reopening of cinemas and what the transition looks like and what you can expect about the theatrical screening. So thank you for talking with me today, Mr. Nutt.
It's good to meet you, Ashley. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for coming back to visit with us, Mr. Nutt. I can only imagine how much of a challenge that the last year has been for you as CEO of Fathom Events. So my question for you is, can you tell us a little bit about the adjustments that you had to make as CEO at your office and how you had to survive the quarantine?
Well, to say the last 15, now going on 16 months has been humbling would be an understatement. With theaters closing, as you know, Fathom distributes our content to movie theaters pretty much exclusively. So with movie theaters shutting down, it was an opportunity for us to peel back the onion and look at our business. The industry as a whole was down about 80% during 2020, and Fathom was very consistent with that. So it did cause us to look at our business, to scrutinize our business. And in terms of survival, we had nowhere to distribute our content to movie theaters since they were closed down. So we actually had a couple of employee furloughs here, which were fortunately very, very short for our employees and our staff. We were the beneficiary of a couple of government grants, I'll just call them, the two PPP loans and what they call an employee retention credit as well, which helped us pay our payroll. It helped us with our rent and a few other expenses that was for. And it really helped us get through things. But more than anything, it helped us examine our business, look at how we communicate with our customers, for example, stay in touch with them, stay in touch with our content providers. And we really weathered the storm during a very, very, very difficult time. So we're happy to say that we're kind of out of the other end of this thing, or at least at the other end of it, and things are improving right now. So we're very excited about that.
That's awesome. So you already answered a little bit of my next question, which was, in your professional opinion, how has the entertainment industry as a whole, really changed, and especially for Fathom Events? Do you have a little bit more on that, of how the entertainment industry has changed?
Yeah, the industry's changed. I think it's caused a lot of us to take a look at our business, whether it's on the exhibition side of the business, the distribution side of the business. There were a lot of things that were going on prior to the pandemic, discussions for years and years with distribution and exhibition with regard to windows. When do you release a movie in movie theaters, and then how long does it stay in movie theaters and then go to a different platform, like a streaming platform, for example. And those kinds of conversations were accelerated by the pandemic, because at that point, distributors had content that they could not release in movie theaters, just like Fathom, and they started releasing them onto their streaming services and so forth. So the industry has changed very significantly, but there is a sense of normalcy that seems to be coming out of the back end as well.
Wow. So, and you touched on streaming services, which perfectly segues into my next question, which is, during quarantine, a lot of consumers have had many choices, more than, just Hulu and Netflix, like Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, all these new streaming services that we have a lot more choices on. So what does that, mean for the competition of movie theaters? And what does that mean for consumers who want to go to movie theaters but have so many options at home?
Yeah. So first of all, what a great time to launch a streaming service if you were a studio, right? People couldn't go to movie theaters; they were stuck at home. So from an opportunistic perspective, with regard to streaming services, it was a really, really good thing for the studio community on the distribution side to do, and a great distribution platforms. I think, like I said before, it accelerated those conversations between distribution and exhibition about windows when movie theaters would open. But I don't really look at the streaming services being necessarily competitive. When I think of the word competitive, I think of a winner and maybe a loser. And in this situation, I think the streaming services are complementary to what we're doing. And I think what you're seeing now is a lot of the studios who are releasing their films, they were releasing them exclusively on streaming services because that's all they could really do at that time. So now I think what they're doing is they're looking at the opportunities to work with exhibition and what are those windows, and really take advantage of all the windows to monetize content and let people see it the way they want to see it. Do they want to see it on the big screen? Do they want to see it at home? Or both? Most your fanatic moviegoers also want to see it at home. So there's a complement there as well. So I actually see the future of streaming and exhibition is very complementary. I'll give you another quick example. We worked with Amazon recently to do a private screening of the movie Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan. And it's based on the Tom Clancy book. And Amazon invited a number of their Amazon Prime members to come to movie theaters to see it on the big screen before it launched on their streaming service. So it's just a small example of ways that I believe that we could be working together and not really view it as competition, because I think there's a platform and window for everybody here.
Wow, that's amazing. And my next question has to do with one of your owners, which is AMC. And Fathom Events is owned by AMC, which is with as well as others. And a lot of people have been talking about the stock of AMC, which has been compared to GameStop in the recent days, ballooning for a lot of like a big percentage. So I was wondering if the AMC stock had, any impact on Fathom Events in any way, or what were your thoughts on that when you were saying it?
Yeah, it's very interesting what's going on there. AMC owns 32% of Fathom, as does Regal and Cinemark. So we are owned by the three largest theater exhibitors in the world, all of which are public companies. I think the encouraging thing to me, I can't comment too much on the stock itself, but I think what's encouraging to me about what's going on is people are interested in the movie business, and you have this whole sector of people who are buying stock in AMC and probably the other two circuits as well, and other public companies. But what's interesting to me about it is that is to see the enthusiasm by that market, by a sector of the community out there that wants to save AMC, I think was some of the things that they were saying and that type of thing. So it's exciting to me that they're excited about going back to the movies, to have a place to go, to have a great experience and see their favorite content on the big screen. So that to me is the most exciting part of what's going on there with the stock at AMC.
Yes, definitely. My econ teacher was talking about it. My dad was talking about it. I mean, it was just a huge talk about movie theaters reopening and what that looked like economically as well. So thank you for that. My last question for you actually has to do with if you have anything lined up in the near future, maybe specifically for kids and families that you are excited about, or just anything that you are personally excited about what Fathom Events will do in the near future.
Well, as you can imagine, through the pandemic, there was a lot of content that we had lined up to distribute to movie theaters, and that got delayed or pushed off. And so our upcoming slate is jam-packed, and it starts off with the Metropolitan Opera. It looks like they're probably going to be open again this fall with our Live in HD series, but we're starting this summer with some encores, with some very famous encores, Porgy and Bess, Carmen, Tosca, And then we have a documentary coming out from the new conductor. They have a brand new conductor at the Metropolitan Opera that everybody's excited about. Yannick is his name, so there's a documentary about him that people don't want to miss. And then there's some fanfare for families in this category too. We'll have the Bolshoi coming back with the Nutcracker around the holidays. So that'll be some good family fanfare. And then the Magic Flute is always good for families in the arts category. Anime, we've got just a ton of bringbacks that we have. Very famous Lupin premiere, Weathering with You. And then we have the Academy Award winner Spirited Away and Children of the Sea that will cater to families and kids. The Academy Award or nominated Wolfwalkers is coming back as well. And then in the Faith and Inspiration categories, we have A Father's Legacy coming up next week, which is a very, very good film. But we have a couple of other films that will cater to families and kids, Journey with Jesus and Free Burma Rangers, that I think the families won't want to miss. And then in the classics, we have a huge classic program, a great relationship with Turner Classic Movies. We have a lot of anniversary titles coming up, Jerry Maguire's 25th anniversary, Citizen Kane 80th anniversary, Silence of the Lambs, West Side Story on Golden Pond. But we do have a couple of films that I think your audience may be interested in. The Great Muppet Caper is celebrating their 40th anniversary, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is celebrating the 50th anniversary. So it gives you some idea. We also have a 17-year relationship with Drum Corps International that your audience may be interested in. That's coming up July, and they'll be doing some of their great performances from some of the best drum corps around the world. So look forward to that in July as well. So as you can see, a very, very good slate. We've got, we have some titles that are coming up that we'll be announcing here in the next few weeks as well for the rest of the year and into 2022. So we're already booking into 2022, which is an encouraging sign for everybody.
Thank you for speaking with me today, Mr. Nutt. You can learn more about upcoming events at Fathom Events at www.fathomevents.com. Check it out. I'm Ashleigh C reporting for Kids First. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with interviews just like this amazing one, as well as reviews from me and my awesome teammates. Thanks for watching. Bye.